If you've been mining at all during 2019, then you've probably heard the news. FPGAs are being announced and released at a much more rapid pace, specifically FPGAs that compete with GPUs, sometimes vastly exceeding GPUs in efficiency. On two big questions come up. Is FPGA mining profitable, and is it right for you? Welcome back. My name is Seth Estrada, and if you're watching this video, you're probably on my YouTube channel, Seth Estrada. First off, FPGA mining. Let's talk about a couple of current options. Let's talk a little bit about profitability, and then let's talk about the big question. Is it even possible to break even on your investment? Now, again, you've heard me be a little bit critical of us saying ROI when we really mean BEP, but tomato, tomato. The current options. What you see behind me first off is Vivado Lab, and this is required for connecting to any of the current available options. Popular options such as BCU 1525 and then CVP 13. There are a few others that are variants of the BCU. There are no other third-party variants of the CVP 13 right now by Bitware. So you'll notice that here in Vivado Lab, I've got one programmed with a bitstream for the Moveo or VEO coin, and it's perfectly profitable daily over the cost to operate it. As far as breaking even, I'd have to do a little bit of math to show you the exact break-even schedule there, but it is profitable. That's the important thing. People saying that FPGA mining is not profitable maybe just aren't paying attention to the numbers. It is profitable daily. This just break-even point has been kind of hard to ascertain as the prolonged bear market continued, Bitcoin is moving sideways, but now with profits back on the rise or price action moving up, we're seeing a resurgence in interest both in GPU mining and in FPGA mining. But CVP 13 is the first big one, and you can pick one up air-cooled for just under $6,000, $5,750, with the water cooling block installed so that you can get the best possible temperatures and the best possible performance out of this machine. It is $6,000 even, roughly, just before shipping, or any applicable taxes, depending on where you live. So for a lot of home-based miners or a lot of spec miners who are just working with disposable income based on sort of the median average, that's quite a chunk of change, right? And that's more disposable income than most average consumers have. So the CVP 13 may or may not be the best choice for them, or it may not be attainable for the at-home miner. I mean, real talk. If you asked me for $6,000 on a speculative investment, like face-to-face, I'd probably laugh. I'd probably think you're joking. That said, mining is a very different industry, isn't it? I mean, historically, people have spent all kinds of money to get access to machines that they might not otherwise have built, far beyond what enthusiasts would spend on gaming rigs. So I don't think it's unreasonable for the average consumer to say, the average mining consumer to say, you know what, I am going to get a CVP 13 and I am going to ride out the profitability roller coaster as new bit streams come out, and I'm going to bide my time and I'm going to put my money on Bitware. I don't think that's a bad bet. That said, this is not financial advice. This is not investing advice. This is not business advice. You must do your own research and get into the nitty-gritty of exactly what your goals are, exactly what coins are available today, and exactly what the prospects are moving forward. Unfortunately, it's such a moving target that I don't even think I can do it justice in one video. But I did want to say that there are at least 3 bit streams today, one of them being the VEO bit stream that's profitable, and then some other registered bit streams that are private that you must register through Zetheron to unlock. And the way that you do that is by proving to Zetheron that you already have the publicly available 0x Bitcoin bitstream running successfully. So you have to kind of show them technical competency by going through their documentation, getting it running, emailing them a video, no joke, a video of your CVP 13 running with the 0x Bitcoin bitstream, and then you in the video, and then they'll get back to you or put you on the official mailing list of owners who can then receive the registered bitstreams moving forward. They just want to know roughly how many people are mining and roughly how many units are being mined on out in the wild. And I can't say that I blame them. With NetHash being what it is, competition kind of needs to be understood, right? As miners, we kind of need to know what we're up against. And so these FPGA bitstream developers, it's in their best interest, as they're trying to retain some developer fees too. It's in their best interest to know, okay, what should the NetHash be on, bitstream X or bitstream Y on this coin? It helps them plan how profitable has this amount of work that I've put into these bit streams been. Now, for the crypto purist who's saying, well, what about the love of blockchain and securing a network that you believe in? Well, these guys are highly trained. I mean, real talk, let's take a quick look at this. Here's Vivado Lab behind me. Now, Vivado Lab, I've never used before. I went to college with a roommate who was an electrical engineer and who does digital signal processing now with FPGAs. For him, it's a daily reality working with software like this. For me, I mean, I've never had to open this up before in my life, before working with an FPGA. Was it super difficult? Well, no, it's got a graphical user interface, and for the most part, the documentation that is available for FPGA mining, it's good enough. I'll put it that way. Been able to mine with it and not burn up any FPGAs, which is the main concern, because let's, again, be honest, with FPGAs, you can literally start an electrical fire just by programming it wrong. Think about that for a minute. You can almost never do that with a GPU. You can wire a GPU incorrectly or not provide the correct voltage or the correct power characteristics for power delivery to your system and melt an outlet or something, or like a surge protector. But with FPGAs, you can literally melt the device itself just by programming it incorrectly. Crazy. This is something that I've never worked with before. There are a ton of people in the world who know how to do this. I just, I wasn't one of those people. So I had to learn a little bit more here, and I'm having to continue to learn a little bit more here. And even at that, I just can't catch up to what an electrical engineer would know after 4 years of school, multiple internships, and then paying their dues and to actually learn the domain, really understand the domain. Going through some of the tactical guides that are given by the Bitstream developers here in the FPGA community, well, I'm kind of at their mercy, right? So if they don't publish a how-to guide that really works, then I'm unable to mine on those FPGAs. Anyway, rant over. This is the CVP13 and it's profitable every day. There are some bit streams that are providing multiple dollars a day. However, it's not $20 of profit per day. It's not $40 of profit per day. And it's a far cry from 60 or 100 or whatever some people have claimed, privately or in private group sales, saying, this is amazing. You're going to earn all your money back in 3 to 9 months. That's really aggressive. And to expect that FPGAs can do that for you is maybe to expect the impossible. So just know that. CVP 13, slightly more expensive, so break even is going to be a little bit farther out. However, it is profitable today. The other option that's really popular is BCU 1525. Now, BCU 1525 is kind of last year's model, right? It is old news at this point, in a way, for FPGA mining. And when it hit the market at almost the $5,000 mark. Fast forward to today, and you can find them street price used between $2,000 and $2,500. So it's a killer deal based on what you can mine from them today. If you want to pick some up secondhand, and you can kind of validate that they have not been abused. But BCU 1525, similar process. You're going to have to work through Vivado Lab here to flash new bit streams onto a BCU 1525. You're going to have to go through the various options of deciding, do I want to air cool this? Do I want to water cool it? Do I want to do liquid immersion cooling? Either single phase or dual phase, two-phase liquid immersion cooling. And you have a lot of options there as well because they're high performance devices. Talking a little bit more about the architecture differences between these models as well, there's quite a bit that can be said, and I'm hoping that we can have kind of a semi-technical conversation about that, just comparing numbers, right? Logic cells, the base logic units that are on the main processing chip of these FPGAs versus the amount of RAM versus the bandwidth of the RAM. We can talk kind of conceptually about what the relative performance would be from one to the other. But the other issue with FPGAs, and bear with me here, is that Bitstream developers, we're still kind of at their mercy to optimize in software how the hardware runs. So we can have various different FPGAs on the market that are really high performance, but if the bit streams and then the miners aren't really optimized to take advantage of that hardware, well, we're back at square one. We're no better off than if we were GPU mining or continuing to pick up inexpensive secondhand GPUs from last year's miners who gave up. Guys, those are the two options that I wanted to talk about today. Back to the main points though. About profitability, yes, BCU is still profitable every single day. And there are many, many bit streams available for BCU. Actually, more bit streams available for BCU than for CVP13. However, CVP13 tends to outperform BCU where they have shared bit streams. Okay, without revealing the exact coins that are being mined there, it is a little bit more profitable because it's got a little more performance. And is ROI or is break even attainable on these devices? Yes. Yes, it is. It just takes time. GPU, FPGA, CPU mining, all of the current proof of work mining game, it is a long game. That's just the reality. And FPGA mining is no exception. The only difference is the initial cost to get started is just a bit higher, both in the price of hardware and in the learning curve. So that's my quick rant for today, guys. Appreciate you watching it to the end of the video. Let me know, what questions do you have about FPGA mining? And I want to know from the community, how deep a dive do you want to see? And what questions do you have about profitability and break even on FPGAs versus GPUs? Thank you for watching to the end of the video. Thanks for hitting the subscribe button and clicking the bell icon so you're notified when new videos come out. You're the reason I make this media. I love your face. I will see you in the next one.
You're often seen as invincible, but I know that's far from the truth. Your position in society is far from prestigious, 'cause you've got nothing to lose.